exposing the hidden truths in one of the most controversial wars. The Vietnam War, a conflict that spanned nearly 2 decades, has left an indelible mark on history. It was a war that not only tested the limits of military strategy, but also the very fabric of American society. The complexities and nuances of this war are often overshadowed by its controversial nature, but today, we aim to peel back the layers and understand what really went wrong. Why are there not more people talking about what really went wrong in Vietnam? Despite the plethora of documentaries, books, and academic discussions, the core issues often remain unaddressed. Was it a failure of military strategy, political miscalculations, or something more profound? The Vietnam War is a subject that continues to spark debate among historians, military experts, and the general public alike. Was the Vietnam War unwinnable or just mismanaged? This question has haunted scholars and veterans for decades. On paper, the United States had all the advantages: superior firepower, advanced technology, and a robust economy. Yet, despite these advantages, the war ended in a manner that many consider a defeat. Could it have been different with better planning and execution? On one hand, the US had overwhelming military power, superior technology, air dominance, and a massive economy to back it all up. The American military machine was a force to be reckoned with, boasting state-of-the-art weaponry and a seemingly endless supply of resources. Fighter jets roared through the skies, tanks rumbled across the terrain, and soldiers were equipped with the latest in military gear. But was this enough to secure victory in a war that was as much about ideology as it was about territory? But the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese? They fought with guerrilla tactics, knew the terrain, and had something America didn't: a relentless will to win, no matter the cost. The North Vietnamese and Viet Cong were masters of unconventional warfare. They utilized the dense jungles to their advantage, setting traps and ambushes that confounded American forces. Their knowledge of the local terrain was unparalleled, and their resolve was unbreakable. They were fighting for their homeland, their way of life, and their future. And let's not forget, public opinion back home was turning against the war. As the conflict dragged on, the American public grew increasingly disillusioned. Graphic images and reports from the front lines brought the brutal reality of the war into living rooms across the nation. The initial support for the war effort began to wane, replaced by a growing sense of skepticism and outrage. Anti-war protests were shaking the foundation of American support. The streets of America were filled with voices of dissent. From college campuses to city squares, people gathered to protest the war. These demonstrations were not just about ending the conflict. They were about questioning the very principles that led the nation into war. The clashes between protesters and police became a symbol of the deep divisions within American society. Some argue that with better strategy and more commitment, victory was possible. Military strategists and historians have long debated whether a different approach could have led to a different outcome. Could a more focused strategy, better understanding of the enemy, and greater commitment have turned the tide in favor of the United States? Or were the challenges too great to overcome, regardless of the tactics employed? Others believe the war was doomed from the start, a clash of ideologies in a land where foreign powers never truly understood the people or the fight. The Vietnam War was not just a military conflict, it was a battle of ideologies. The United States, with its goal of containing communism, found itself in a land where the cultural, historical, and social dynamics were vastly different from its own. The lack of understanding and respect for these differences may have been a critical factor in the ultimate outcome of the war. So, was the Vietnam War really unwinnable? This question remains one of the most contentious in modern history. The war's legacy is a complex tapestry of heroism, tragedy, and lessons learned. It serves as a reminder of the limits of military power and the importance of understanding the human and cultural dimensions of conflict. Or was it lost because of mistakes, misjudgments, and missed opportunities? The Vietnam War was marked by a series of strategic blunders and miscalculations. From underestimating the enemy to failing to adapt to the realities on the ground, the war was a litany of missed opportunities. Could these mistakes have been avoided? And if so, would the outcome have been different? Comment below with your thoughts. The debate rages on. The Vietnam War continues to be a topic of intense discussion and analysis. Whether you believe it was unwinnable or simply mismanaged, your perspective adds to the ongoing dialogue. Share your thoughts and join the conversation as we continue to explore the complexities of this pivotal moment in history.